it's Heather with Ideas to Come. And
Zephyr, sorry. She's got me sidetracked.
I just turned on the video right away. I don't do mini albums. I want to, but I don't. So I want to, she's going to show me some tips, and then you guys can listen how she gets started. So she's getting started.
So she asked me, how do I decide when I'm going to make a card, what I'm going to put on a card? And this took me a long time to kind of practice to get my layers together. So here's one of the cards I made this last week for the card show, or the craft show I did. And I was telling Heather she can do this, but she said she struggles with how do you decide where you're going to put your layers and what you're going to put. And so I start off with, what will my focal point be? What am I going to put on the card itself? And for instance, that was this bird. And then I take the colors that are on this bird. So this has purples and blues in it. And then I start looking for papers that will match those colors. And I shadowed my die cut, find some blue paper, and just keep making my layers. And then I use the Martha Stewart punches, where it can give us a little bit more dimension with the different papers. And I try to keep the tone of the colors to be similar. So these are all blue or yellow tones. And then I add a little sentiment and some flowers to it.
That's not what you told me when you started.
But let me show you what I do when I start, because that's what I added. I didn't have it all laid out at the time I started it.
She's got all kinds of papers and everything over there. So,
like for instance, here's a paper that I like. The focal point is the colors in this paper. So then I would be looking for greens and purples. And here's a die cut. I cut my papers and my scrap papers, and I usually have a big batch of everything just laid out. So here's a good color that's going to match with that. That's purple. I start looking for, that's got yellows in it. This is not going to quite go with it because it's a little too yellow, so I wouldn't use that. And I just keep, now this has some green in it, and that has some sparkles, so I could use that with the purple and lay that out on, thank you, lay that out on there, and then look for maybe a sentiment.
But see, I would look at that for myself, and I'd be like, that doesn't look right.
But it does, because you've got your greens and your purples.
But that's why I don't understand. I don't have the eye or what, because if I did that, I'd be like, no, that doesn't look right. But when you put them together, it looks good.
And then, let's see if I have, I really wasn't prepared to show, but I'm just...
She has a bunch of stuff on here, a bunch of cutouts and stuff. You have a lot of neat things. And you must save things from other cards so that you can use, huh?
I cut them out,
and she'll probably use that sentiment on there. I bet you. Because I've seen some of her stuff.
So I could put something like that on there. Just thinking of you.
Oh, cute. That looks nice. See?
And then if I wanted to, I could also put another color in between the purple and the green, just to soften that green. And then once that's laid out on the cardstock, then I would do maybe a flower arrangement around the edges.
I want people to see what you're doing over here.
So here's some paper that's already been cut. So I have everything pre-done, and then I just go back in and I add. I layer and I add.
Sorry, that didn't work out as well as I thought it would.
Until I get the colors that I like. And sometimes it doesn't come together. I don't always find what I'm looking for right off the bat, and I'll put it aside and I'll look some more until I get the pieces that I want to go together. A lot of times I just lay all my pieces out on the dining room table. It's kind of like playing a puzzle. Mix and match my colors until I get what I want it to do. I can do something like this. See, that looks nice because that's a lighter purple.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty.
You see? And that gives it the green. Or I can stick with that background. I think I like that. And then I would just put some flowers around it, and maybe cut the corners with the
corner punch.
the punches.
Oh.
And then I'll show you some of the cards.
She makes it look so simple, but for me it's not that simple. And she's gonna show me. Look at how pretty that is.
So I just
this.
Did this background, some greens, some reds, silver. I try to stick with the silver here and the classy look.
I like this ribbon and this button.
Now I got the ribbon at MB Treasurista. She has some really cute
Oh yeah,
stuff.
I bought stuff from her.
Here's something that's kind of fun. It's got little ice cream cupcakes in the background, so I wanted to stick with the children's theme. There's another one.
And she's gonna be putting these in her store, her Etsy store.
So because this little doll's got a dress that's got polka dots on it, I used the punch that had polka dots, and I used a ribbon. So that was the element that I was going to keep too.
Did you paper piece this dress?
Mm-hmm. I cut the little dress out, colored it, and put it on top of the original image. So there's some dimension to it.
Cool.
And then I found some of these from Recollections, little cupcakes, since she's holding a cupcake.
That came out pretty. I like the yellows and the blues, and to me these things wouldn't seem to go together. The polka dots and then this and the yellow, but it all ties in together. It's real pretty.
Because it's got polka dots.
I'm not very good at color coordinating.
Now this one I just went with the blue theme. There's blue in there, and some yellow for her hair. So I tried to stick with the two colors. And she's holding a teddy bear, so the teddy bear to me was friendship. So I found this little rub-on stencil, and I stuck it on a tag. And it says, "True friends need no words."
Right?
So it worked. There's another one.
That one's super cute.
That one's saturated canary image, colored with my Copics. And the little bird is flying around her, so I put some glitter to show the stream of the bird. And the little girl's got, little polka dots on her dress also. And little girls always wear pink and blue, and so I added just pink and blue with polka dots and color coordinated it.
I like the pink probably.
Now this sediment, I just printed it on my printer, and then I went out with the Sizzix and I cut out the image, cut out the words with my Sizzix, and I colored it in, because I didn't have a stamp that said sweet. And what I do with my cards is a little trick, because every time I show a card, somebody says, "Oh, well, I need it for a birthday," or "I want to give it to so-and-so," or "Can you change the sentiment?" So I add a few variety sentiments in there with the little, I put some tape on the back, so when they're ready to open the card and give it to whoever they want, they have a choice. That way they don't say, "Well, that's not a birthday," or "I need it for a gift," or a "thinking of you," or "get well." There's a variety in the card. This one's a fairly simple card. It's just paper, and using the Martha Stewart punches really dress up your papers.
That's what I need to try to do. I have them. I just need to. I like this.
And just add some ribbon.
I like that.
Very simple. Ribbon. And now with the stick pins. I never used stick pins in my cards until I met Heather. I love them. They really dress up the cards.
That looks pretty fancy. She ordered my stick pin kit from my Etsy store. And now she makes pretty stick pins.
There's another one where I just layered the spellbinder cuts.
See, and I would have never thought that this green go with that blue and then pink. And it looks good. Maybe I'm just.
There's another one. I try to stick with the silver. There's
pretty.
Silver in that paper.
Stop it, Ray. We're making a video here.
I better look down soon then.
Oh, he left us a note. Hold on, I gotta get it.
He's supposed to be making an album.
He was trying with the kitty cat.
He was trying to get our attention.
Here's
says, "Oh, love you. Oh, sweet."
See how you can even get mad at that.
I know, right? Dang it, Ray.
I don't know if this helps any with cards, but I'll show more about how I put them together. Here's another one. Kind of went
So
with
I'm
the
going to be
paper.
trying to do cards again. Or still, I should say.
I'll teach you.
Can I use the tape?
What are you making anyway?
Let me figure out how to open it.
Here, catch.
This one's super pretty too. Has a little flower on the bottom here.
When I make my cards, I always have
pretty.
everything laid out, all spread out. All my ribbons spread out. My flowers are spread out.
I can't do
My
that.
paper
though. I
is
don't have
spread
enough
out
room.
because then I can find something that I think goes together. and
That
put it
must be
together.
where I have the problem then.
And I don't
because-
always glue them together right away. I'll maybe gather them, put them in a little box or set them aside. And it may take me 2 or 3 days until I'm sure that's how I want it to be.
I like this one. Look at this one. Super. I like this, how she did the stick pin. I don't know if you can see that.
got a little
Super
flower.
pretty. It's got a flower on there. She's got this pretty flower here. Super, super pretty. Love that one too.
Yeah, and you know, the trick is layers. At least 2 or 3 layers. And some elements that'll catch the eye, like the flowers, the stick pins, the pearls, bling, lace. You don't want to do too much, but I think it always adds a personal touch to a handmade card.
pretty.
You know, they could go to the dollar store and buy a card made by anybody, but this is an individual handmade card, probably one of a kind that is not going to ever be made again.
That's true.
So.
Super true. Thank you for sharing that with me, and you're in for a challenge with me.
We'll teach her yet.
So I will be doing some cards soon, getting back to you guys. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
And we will talk to y'all soon. Thank you, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.